All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to do this. This is take two, maybe take 1.5, because we had a wonderful chat last night, you and I, Abe, and we did have some technical difficulties. So we decided we have more to talk about. So why don't we shut that baby down? And that is on IGTV right now, on the Lamley feed, IGTV. You can find that. I'll put a link down below in the comments section. But there was a few things that you were showing, and then whatever happened. So we thought, Abe, you and I'd get together again, record one more chat, and show off some things. We'll put it on the YouTube channel and go from there. So we might as well get right to it. If you haven't watched the IGTV, definitely watch that. You can get a little history of you, Abe, but we don't need to repeat that again. Let's just get into the nitty-gritty with some of these models. You tell me where we're going to start. I think you've got some stuff in front of you, right?
Yeah. I think we were just kind of talking about 22. What's going on with 22 and everything as an FYI.
22 or 21?
21? Oh, yeah. Wow.
You got 22. Let's talk about it.
I may have slipped already. No, this is, they call it it's like there's a time of the year. It's like a 3-month span at work where people are getting rid of the old stuff. So the 20 is already out the door. 21's happening. And then 22 is about to start. So it's actually next month where we start really getting in on the 22 stuff.
It is kind of interesting, and it's something like, I think just from that perspective, like sometimes, and I've talked to other designers about this, your timing, like you guys are always way ahead of the collectors and everyone else. Obviously what we're finding in the stores, that's a distant memory to you guys at this point, right? You're like you said, you're say 22 because that's what you're thinking of right now. So we're still, in a sense, going into the past, right? With some of the 21 stuff that you're going to show us. Yeah.
So there, I lose track, and I lose track with dealing with all the lines and all the multiple things, like there's theme assortments and like real working rigs and everything else. But let me show you some of the stuff. I'm going to re-show you the PAL truck, since that was like a really 50s looking truck.
Yeah.
Just showing it again. It's a cool truck. It's beefy. You have that one with you? Yeah. So there you go.
And you talked a little bit about that history, and the crazy thing is how boxy it is. It looks like it does look like truly like
it looks
the
very
drawing
much like that.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to buy one online, like a real one. That's right. It was really cheap too, but rare and rare doesn't usually mean expensive either. So
that's true.
And then there's the Corvette people who are talking about. Thanks for posting images.
Oh, that was a fun one to photograph, man.
So the next one, I'm not sure the color actually, but next color is going to be different. There's going to be probably 2 colors in 21.
For 21?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then 21, what else are we talking about? So then I started showing some
and we should mention that those 2 are coming along with the Devo, the Bugatti Devo, are all coming in the final mix of 20. So those, we're not even at 21 yet. Those are 2. So those are the final trucks of 2020.
Yeah. Pull some colors from here. Can you see me? Yeah.
I like your decor, man. It looks good.
It's like being at the convention like all week. Yeah. So then I know this is right next in the next mix. I think you mentioned it for end of 2020. That's mix 5 or mix 6.
6.
That's the motorcycle trailer.
Yeah. And there's 2.
Some people ask if the motorcycle comes off. I guess if you're a customizer, you can cut it off. These are just cool bikes. And we do the flip-flop interior, we call it. So we change the bike. I actually wanted to do it so you can have the bike on the other side, on the other interior. They wouldn't do that. That way you can actually modify one and have both bikes on one trailer.
Awesome.
But I know people will figure that out. And then at the end of 20, you'll see the Jeep Renegade, right? Jeep Renegade.
I think that's actually, because what is it, mix 4 or 5, whatever's out now.
It's showing up.
It's there, yeah. People are starting to
find it. New casting. You'll see it in, I think, red next time. And then there's the DBR one.
Yeah.
Right?
Aston Martin.
So this one's without the numbers. So the Top Gun one you see has the numbers, and this just has a regular plate with the MB number on the front.
That's very cool.
And then so there's like 1 mix left and of 2020, and the mix 5 is starting to show up right now, and then in like a month or 2 months you'll see the other the other mix, and then you're going to start seeing 2021 or 2021.
So maybe towards the end of the year.
Convoys has a mix that's coming out late. One thing that didn't get ordered so much was there's a line called Mission Force. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's like a five car set, and there was like a real working rig or a Skybuster and 3 cars.
Oh yeah.
You remember those? We were bringing those back, and it was kind of like a hidden gem. And that's where you see some FAPs that come in. They're old ones because we get to bring some old stuff back. And the orders weren't there for them. So I think we got smaller orders. So some of the stuff's going to show up.
So you'll see it in some stores. Sorry,
yeah,
I have
some stores.
There's a fire station near my house, and they've been called to duty.
I couldn't hear it.
Okay, so good. Well, I heard it.
I'm just explaining the end of 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
And then for so we're working on Convoy, since that's a thing that people are talking about. That orange Convoy with the forklift is one of the last decos, and then we had to push a new deco into the following mix. So that's the 2021 mix 1. I don't have the timing for that, but we're trying to get a new mix going, and we're gonna try and do 2 mixes. But just so people know, and they always complain about, oh, it's the same old deco. Having something, I try to get some freshness in, but even getting the item in there,
yeah,
it's something, you know. If someone ordered it, is a good thing, because that would mean that more people are gonna order it, and that customer is gonna want some more. So, you know, buy it for your friends or whatever. I don't know.
That could lead to more.
As those come in, right? then we can grow the line some more.
Got it. Makes sense.
What else? So that brings us into 21. So in 21 basics, I was showing you some of the basics. So this is the Nova.
Yeah, 79.
79.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I happen to have it in metal.
Oh, did that just come in?
It may have been in there already. I didn't really look in that bag. It doesn't really have like a crazy stance. Like I didn't put the deep wheels.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not a Hot Wheels car. So I give it kind of a look, but not a total, you know, drop stance or put some Hot Wheels on it or whatever for customizers.
I like it sitting normal. I like it sitting.
Yeah. So these cars kind of had, and I'll just say they kind of had a ass dragging look sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't stance them right from the factory. But so it's like right there. I starting to like it. I wish I'd done a Malibu. Maybe next time we'll do the Malibu or the I forget the other name, but the 70s car. And then here's the Audi TT. No, this is not the Audi TT. I got the wrong one. This is the new, not the new, this is the old Nissan 350Z, right?
Oh, you're bringing it back.
Yeah, this is coming back in mix 1. So you'll see, I think there's 2 versions of it.
Oh, wow.
We're testing some waters with certain cars, so you'll see the differences in it.
Cool.
Man, I wish I had the I know people were talking about it. Sorry, I don't have it. And I was just looking at the details on this one. So there's the Audi TT.
Yeah.
And this is an early prototype, print.
Sure.
And I was checking it against the 2020 to make sure that the vents were correct. Actually, this morning, and they are correct. So, and then the windows are open. One thing I noticed on your photography is that we had the windows closed on the Corvette, but like if it's a Corvette and you're driving fast, you want the windows closed anyways, right? Because you don't want the wind. Yeah. So like in the real world.
There it is.
Those are the things we think about. I mean,
sure.
Some things that we do in the Matchbox world is the mirrors. We add them where we can. Sometimes there's cars where you really want to add them, but they just won't work out, or they just look like little nuggets that don't really read. One car in particular was Eldorado. It had the square mirrors, but it just wasn't cutting it. And the thing I love about this car, I'm like, the more I look at it, the more I like it, is that it's long and skinny.
Yeah.
Long and skinny, like the real deal.
And that's the completed one, right?
Yeah, this is the completed one, and we'll bring it into the main line.
You were cutting out last night, and I said, I had no shame. I was like, dude, you got to send that to me to photograph. I was
Uh,
just begging you. I know you're cutting out, so you missed all that. So there's my
I can't
begging
hear you.
again.
What were you saying yesterday? I can't hear you. I'm surprised. I bugged them about the details on the grill, like to have the bar and everything correct. And I'm sure that there's going to be like Cadillac guys are going to be like, oh, but you don't know, you know. But hey, if you compare it
Looks
to
good
the
to me.
other, there's one other casting that's the same era, and this has the long skinny look. I wish it would have had the mirrors, but they just weren't cutting it.
Just didn't look good.
So it's a cool casting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
What
that one.
else?
That's coming. That's debuting in the Cadillac series at Walmart.
Cadillac
Right?
series of spring. So you probably see it in, if the timing's right, it should show up in December-ish, late November.
Okay.
Some people get it of this year. And that's with that one. I think you sneaked the Cadillac with the roof up, and that one we
Yes.
built at the same time. We didn't do one for this one in particular because it has the rear, the boot. I
Yeah.
actually wanted to do it in this one, but we can't. But the 41 Cadillac has basically the tub of the interior ends in the way where you could actually do the top up, and we
Oh, wow.
took the top at the same time. We just never used it, so it's cool to get a variation like that. I was thinking about doing it where they randomize it. They wouldn't randomize it for me, so you get some with the top up, some with the top down, and then
That'd be cool if you could do that one of these days.
yeah, we'll get something like that in there. So as far as new tools, we can talk about. This one's an original, so this should be easy.
Yeah.
The crayon truck or the Road Stripe King is the name, not Road Strip King, Road Stripe King.
Yeah.
This is where we were cutting out where I was looking through the hole. And
Yes.
and so it kind of sits like that. It really isn't like to be like hard in there, and then the kid could just kind of draw.
Yeah.
I think the win here is that it still looks like the real Road Stripe truck, and you get the free features.
Really cool.
That's all I could afford. And then this one's the I think we're calling it like fire rescue or rescue dasher.
Yeah.
And we had a licensed fire spot, but it was coming in too high. And I wanted to put a fire truck, and we have a lot of boxy new fire trucks. So this one has area so we could do a cool deco on the side, and it's reminiscent of a GMC / Seagrave / like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
40s vehicle, and it should be a fun casting.
It'll fit in nice with some of those other classic fire trucks.
It's got the look for what it's supposed to. I also looked at those vintage tin fire trucks that are really just simple.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the Ford Capri. And I know there's different versions with the headlights. This one has the round headlights. I know some people are going to want to know that. And what else?
I think one thing interesting about that one, you had mentioned it had been near the top of the collector list. And if people aren't familiar with that, that was a few years ago when you did the ambassador program, when collectors would serve as what they called the Matchbox ambassador. And Larry Scaduto, who was the ambassador at the time, really did this large compilation, like asking people to vote on cars that they wanted. And kind of through the years, you've been rolling out a lot of those that were on the collector list, and that Capri was up there too.
I think a lot of them for those types of lists, so people know I appreciate those lists. It's something to like triple check. Like I have different lists that I have to check stuff off for marketing, have to check stuff off just because I like the car, or check stuff off whether it's a PR car, different check boxes. And that's always a collector checkbox we look at. And I mean, if you guys want to write Larry Scaduto, he's probably going to work on a new list again to see what we got. But I would show the results, and then we'd put a star by it. And we started getting a lot of stars on all the tooling that we're bringing in. But sometimes you just don't have the licensing to do the certain cars, or it just doesn't fit the bill. But now that we have like the working, the moving parts line and the basics right now, what's going to happen, we could put some more cars in the moving parts where we have more money to work with. And then that brings me to new moving parts castings. So this one is actually going to be a $2 car, and it's a 1988 Monte Carlo LS luxury
That's
sport.
been on your list for a while.
Yeah, I think for me it was getting the headlights, but they kept beating me back because you need a certain angle for tooling to do its thing. But it's really cool. So yeah, and you guys got to remember it's a $2 car, so it might not get the full deco that you wish. But you know, if we bring it into the collector line, we could do a nicer deco. You know,
What color is it going to debut in? Do you know?
I think it's gonna straight black.
Cool.
With silver accents.
Let's open. Yeah.
This one's gonna be in the collector line with still moving parts. This is the like a '66 Range Rover Gen 2.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Version. So the other team has the one with the top, the truck with the top. So I took the top off and then I made the doors open. And so this is actually gonna be like a collab-ish item with that one brand. What's it called? Cool and Vintage. So you look up Cool and Vintage. There's gonna be the Cool and Vintage logo on the deco.
Oh, cool.
So there's a real one that's very similar to this. It's actually a little bit of the inspiration, but it's a really cool customizer. Ours is more stock than theirs.
Sure.
And then here's the Pagani.
And show how that, like, it snaps.
Yeah.
I like how it does it. I mean, it shifts and then, right?
It's like you can feel there's like a detent, and maybe because it was fresh, because I hadn't opened it, it stays up.
Yeah.
And then you do literally have to click the back end of it, because it's kind of like a shifting angle thing. And then the details in there, I don't know if you can see them, but the people, it's one of those bring your flashlight out and look at it with your, it's a cool casting. If you have the money to order your Pagani, you can order it however you want. So yeah, because I saw the comments on the tail, but it's again a $2 car.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a cool model. I think, you know, it's bringing sports cars that we don't have.
No, I think between the Devo this year and then the Pagani next year, and what else did I say? You got the McLaren and the Tesla, right? So
we're doing the Tesla Roadster and then the McLaren 720 Spider, and that's in basics.
Yeah.
What else? I think those are the sportiest in the line, other than the MR2.
Yeah.
MR2.
Oh yeah, you were showing that, and that's when we really started freezing again.
Yeah. I don't know which one I showed you, but there's a MR2 there.
Okay.
So you can see that the headlights are like some of the old style where they pop through. I think Hot Wheels always gets it in. I forget to do it when I get a chance. You get the little glass look in there.
So there'll be a break on the lights.
Huh?
There'll be a break. Like the lights will be a separate.
They're a separate piece.
Yeah.
They might be up. They might be down. I don't know.
Got it.
So.
Got it.
Yeah, you might be driving in Japan. You might be driving in the United States. I get it.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
You got to see what you get. It makes for more collector stuff to chase.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
One I was ending with yesterday was the C10, the 64 C10.
Yeah.
And you know that we did the 63 C10 with the opening hood. This is just a long bed version, and the cab's actually different from one year. This is a year that it changes over. So now I'm a C4 aficionado, but no, not really. But the A post angle, this is probably the first. It was interesting to me. It's probably one of the first trucks to have the forward A pillars. Yeah. Like what is modern now, like everybody's got forward.
Sure.
For trucks, this is pretty close to where it started, because before that they were all flat, and that was like a detail we had to get right. This one you won't see probably for a while, because it may go into moving parts after its debut. It'll be debuted in a special item. So
got it.
Which one else? Yeah.
I'm trying to get peeks of what's back there to.
Yeah, I'm trying to not show everything. Well, I'll show you the stuff that I showed yesterday. There's the Toyota, not Toyota, I'm sorry, the Lexus LS.
Yeah, and I asked you about this one, and we did talk about it yesterday. And you had said while you're showing that, and we can talk about it in a second, but like I asked, like where did the Lexus come from? And it's it's not like you have official slots, but you want to create that diversity. You mentioned yesterday what 100 chances to win, basically meaning you want it. The way I interpreted that is like the diversity that you want to create. You want, obviously you were talking about the sports cars and the supercars. And it's not only, so it's like we do, Japanese cars, can we do American cars, can we do European cars? But then you're also like, okay, within that, and I know the Australian collectors and Australian cars, they're asking, a lot of that.
Yeah.
And that, that's, I'm sure that's noted. But then and then even within that, it's like, okay, what era should we hit? Can we hit classic? Can we hit modern? There's a huge surge of interest, obviously, as those of us that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, there's a huge interest, obviously, in those cars now. So you're trying to hit those notes. And I would imagine it's like, okay, Japanese cars, and we need a 90s car. Oh, perfect. Let's do the Lexus LS, right?
Yeah, a lot of the genres and years, they kind of have to converge to the special spot. And then there's always that Matchbox, you call it like odd car, like the Mercury Sable.
Sure.
Or the minivan with the opening door.
The out of left field car, right?
So like the out there car that there used to be vehicles, and they're literally people at Hot Wheels. They're like, we would never do that, right? Like we would never do that. Yeah. So I try to get those in before, because if you do
take it as a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. And if you do it so it's cool, in its stockness and simpleness of what you make, then they're like, oh, we could make a gasser out of this, Yeah. And then they make it as a gasser, and then I'm like, it was cool just as what it was. You don't have to get crazy.
Well, as collectors, though, we like our happy family together. We like our stock. We like our, that's how we look at it. We think that all you do is say, I think you sit down, the Hot Wheels designers and the Matchbox designers, and you have this, like, you eat donuts, and you say, and you basically put my face up on the screen, and then, collector,
which ones are they gonna
this other collector and this collector, you say, what do they want? Well, they want a gasser and a stock version, so let's make sure it happens. That's how we envision it, and that's what maybe we'll just keep it that way.
I guess there's things that one good example I'll tell you right now is the Impala SS, the 90s Impala SS. It just came out, right?
Yeah.
Right? I did the Caprice Classic, which was like a 92 Caprice Classic police car. We were developing them at the same time, but I actually wanted to do the other car, but they were like, oh no, we're doing it. And I was like, whatever, you guys do it. I need a police car anyways. It's cool. Yeah. They would never do it as a police car in their world because it doesn't make sense. So, you win some, you lose some. I have a cool police car. I still have to mod the rear wheels for those people. But, it happens. There's a lot of crossover. I think one of them was like the Porsche Rally. Yeah. Where it's a race car. It's not. One thing that kind of brushes me a little wrong sometimes is where they think anything rally that's off-road and not a cool car in their mind becomes a Matchbox car instantly. Like, got it.
Again, we just think it's all, whatever's going on there, we're just happy to have all of it.
Yeah. So those are the things I think about sometimes. And one of them was like, I wanted a sports car, and I did the McLaren Spider. Mm-hmm. And they've done the McLaren Spider, but then I have to go in and do more research to see they actually had the coupe, and then the Spider. I don't know. I don't keep up with all their stuff. Right. But I need sports cars that we can do, So sometimes you have some crossover. Sometimes if they do the coupe, I try to do the convertible. So there's, those things I think about. And then there's cars that they just never would do that I'm like, yes, let's get it in there.
Well, it's always interesting. I always think sometimes when you see, and it happens with both brands, like, Matchbox, you'll do a rat rod and people say, man, that should have been a Hot Wheels model. Collectors, and I'm talking about collectors. Yeah. And then And then like, Hot Wheels will do like a stock kind of like, very, I don't want to say
like
ordinary,
a
but
Honda
very
Prelude.
stock sedan or something. Yeah. And now, I mean, the story there with Rio is so great that it's like you want him to do it. But people will see that and go, oh, that should have been a Matchbox. And what I do like here, and it's like, I feel that allegiance to both brands, right? And there's kind of thing like if a brand outside of the two Mattel brands did it in that toy realm, I'm not talking about the premium stuff, I might go, I wish Hot Wheels or Matchbox would have done that. Sometimes, I'll see something and I'll be like, okay, if that is a Hot Wheels take on that, I would love to see what Matchbox would do with that. Like, I'd like to see them go stock on that thing. Or that, that's a very boring sedan. I wonder if Hot Wheels could jazz it up a little bit as like a gasser or something like that.
It does work both ways. So
yeah,
it's all good.
And so it's nice to see both, but I also kind of like that, hearing you talk like, okay, I'm watching what they're doing. They're sure we're watching what I'm doing. And I'm, there's obviously going to be a little bit of fun and rivalry in there too. And it might be like, all right, you don't want to do that. Watch me turn this into a sexy thing that collectors want. And I think that's kind of cool.
It happens.
Yeah.
So, there's a few other cars, I guess.
Yeah. I want to see, you had shown, speaking of the Porsche Rally, I'm losing my camera here. You had shown it was an upcoming Porsche Rally. We didn't know if it was Rally.
Yeah,
the Rally
that one's actually.
Oh, look, and I'm sending him on errands. Clearly, he has got more awesome Matchbox displays outside around his house. We got to go visit.
No, it's a home. It's a home office now, right?
yeah, I know. It's true.
So I had to double check. So the fall version of the Rally series for Walmart, which is 20.
Yeah.
There's like 3 new decos in that, and one of the new decos was another VW Country.
Okay. Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
If you do some searching, you'll find there's a similar deco out there. So we got inspired by a real racing car. So there's that one. And then this one, we had a version of this and we couldn't get it, we had talks with the licensor about it. And it was, again, I think more like a real racing car. And then we needed to do something on the fly. So I did some research on our decos, and I found that VW Beetle 4x4 that had something similar.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's it's a DER, Desert Endurance run or race.
Yeah.
So I'm working on probably bringing that back, because it's one of those race things that's been, in the background here and there. So I'm trying to do a 5-pack. I think Tilly might have suggested
I've seen it on a few.
Huh?
I remember seeing it on a few of the Matchbox models.
I think when you add them together, there's probably a whole circuit going on we don't know about.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then this one, I think some people, I keep mentioning it just because it was a difficult one to get done, but it was the Polaris.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I think the cooler part is that they, I think they're coming out with this model with this color, so they're going to be pretty happy.
So we'll actually see it on the road.
So the Porsche was in the Retro series, not in the Rally series. So the Retro Series 1 is showing up, and Retro Series 2 is going to show up towards the end of the year. And then it's going to continue into 4 other mixes of Retro Series. So there's going to be a lot more retro stuff.
Cool.
And then I think hopefully we're trying to get you a playset so you can see there's going to be a big retro playset. It's going to be the 80s gas station from Matchbox. I really pushed for it. I'm going to take the credit on some of it because we were doing the retro line, and I said, well, if we're doing a playset in that world, we should bring a retro playset back. And hopefully it sells well. And then they update it, because it used to be like the truck stop went into being the mechanic shop. It was the same set, and it would probably be a nice display. This is a second series retro item too. So this is a 33 Ford Coupe. And the Matchbox Speed Shop was on like the Model A, the 31 Model A panel.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one. I caught it too late, but it was supposed to be very dark blue, but it came out black. So
I like it. I
It's
like it in
cool.
black.
So here's one. Here's another sneak that you're not gonna.
Oh, what? Oh, that, yeah, that's
So
a
this is
21.
the Plymouth Savoy.
Yes. One that you really wanted to do. You had mentioned that in the,
Yeah. Well, no, well, yeah. I wanted to do it because it's a cool, like, it's one of those you drove off from the dealer in a real dangerous car,
right, right.
like a drag. I drove a dragster from the dealer, so
Yeah.
this is probably one of those early ones. I mean, other than being a '50s Hemi car or something, but this is like a lot of people are gonna like this one, and I made sure it was the
Is
black.
that, and is that the one? Because I've got you on a small picture. So is that the finished product right there?
Pretty close. I think this is a metallic version. We changed it to just straight black.
Okay.
How there's that metallic gray or
Yeah.
metallic black
Yeah.
that looks a little gray.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
you
want
can
to
tell
photograph that
the
too.
difference here if you look at
I
them.
get it. Okay. Yeah. I see it.
Um,
Send that one over too. I want to photograph it.
yeah, yeah, that one would be fun. What else do we got? Something came. Oh yeah. This is one that came to my mind, which is funny. This one broke actually because the 3D broke, and I don't have a casting of it. This is the 34 Chevy Master Coupe.
So while you're showing that real quick, and
Yeah.
this was something I wanted to get to yesterday and we didn't have time, and you can just talk about it real quickly because that, I've gotten to know you over the years. You have a lot of interests, automotive interests, among many other interests. Tell the viewers what kind of cars, because I think this is always interesting, what cars you have in your garage.
Oh, I have a 41 Cadillac, like the green one that came out, convertible too. And then my wife's got a 33 Plymouth. So, and we've actually made that one too. She's got a Plymouth sedan, and I used to have a 64 Fairlane wagon, which became a Hot Wheels car. So I'm kind of like Brendan, but in the Matchbox world.
Yeah. Whatever's in your garage.
Because he always makes his cars. He's got tons of cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one in particular is in the movie Fury Road. There's one like this, but way over the top hot rodded, and
yeah,
some customizer can now actually make a 1/64 scale.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Of that.
It's gonna happen.
But it's just when you appreciate a car that's super customized, super cool looking. Yeah, and the movie is cool, but then in real life, the regular stock one is still a cool car.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
This is just stock, and then we're also doing the hot rod. That's a 32 Ford Model B coupe.
Yeah.
So that was going to be a high boy with the hood sides, and then it's going to have the familiar chassis that I use on hot rods. I was trying to scale it in between the 33 coupe and like the Plymouth, somewhere in there. Actually, kind of slightly bigger than this one without the fenders. Like if you took the fenders off that, because that's what you'd be doing, is you're taking the fenders off on the highway.
Sure.
So there it is. This is an early one. I don't have and the reasoning behind making it slightly smaller is because I think the 33 is actually the next generation body, first of all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is when it went slightly wider.
Yeah.
None of these parts in the real world would interchange, in like the quarter panels, and like it's the next generation.
Sure.
So, and I know that this casting is cousins with the 33 from the 80s with the big pipes.
Yes.
And the scale is always kind of funky. So I try to fix that a little bit, and this is furthering that math,
But we'll get, when that comes out, we'll have Tilly or someone do a comparison on them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then what else? I mean, one I wanted to talk about, I had a copy of it. Yeah. People are gonna want to see this. There's the field car.
Yes.
And one thing people mentioned also was to bring back old tools. So we did kind of a modern version.
I love it.
And it's got the spare tire. It's got kind of a similar roof.
Yeah.
This one's truly Matchbox original versus this was, I think this was almost an International Scout. like there's a body line seam that's particular in the front end. It's kind of like a Jeep
Sure.
Commander or whatever. So this one we went in and changed body lines and then added some modern shapes. It's got a hitch. See, got the sunroof. So yeah, I think it's a cool casting it's like it fills the role of an SUV that's modern but retro, kind of like the Bronco doing its thing, which is
Sure.
funny. We're bringing in the Bronco. So this year you're going to see a lot of spare tires from us in the back,
Yeah.
and a lot of high cars. So maybe next year we'll finally do that minivan that people are claiming.
I saw the comments. I'm sure if you ask for it, they'll give you suggestions. You know, you said you listened, so I'm sure they'll send them in.
Yeah.
Sure.
What else? So yeah, that one's a cool one. Just different things.
You've got a lot. We don't have to go over everything. It'll be, we'll have to revisit maybe later this year or early next year as the line starts to roll out. And I'm trying to think of other questions that we saw. You talked about convoys.
Yeah.
We definitely gave the shout out to the Australian collectors. You said we want to see more Australian stuff. I know you've thought about doing that. Minivans have been represented. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of comments on, are you going to make this? You're going to make that? Obviously, everything's on the table over time, right? You got to do something. You have something.
There's always a spot for something, but if the spot's already filled with something else, it needs to wait. Till the next availability, basically, right? And it has to do with where the new tools and how much money is being spent. And I mean, I think about the other brand, and I'm like, aren't they're closing in on every car, right? Because they have so many cars.
Yeah.
So that's why they go into, oh, we got the 63 Corvette. Oh, we got the 67 Corvette. Oh, we got the 72. Oh, we got, and okay. So there's a Corvette collector, in every seat, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think I can really do that, like if we have a car, like let's just say, for example, like the Honda Civic, the vintage one, it would be hard for me to do the wagon version of that, or a different version.
Even I'm requesting because I want the wagon version too.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
But it would be fun to do, right? If it makes the sense, like in a different line. Okay.
Maybe 30 years down the line when you're like, okay, the gaps are a little bit smaller. Now we can fill those in.
Yeah.
You and I might be on a patio somewhere yelling at people to get off our lawn though at that point.
But yeah, I always take stuff into consideration, and if there's an availability for it, sometimes we can knock it in there and do something.
Sure.
But sometimes you just gotta kind of wait. And there's like a lot of stuff happening with the brand, and they're gonna have new play sets and.
Oh, dude, I talked to you about that yesterday on the Instagram live. Is to me, I think, considering all of the where this brand has gone for the last 10, 12 years, and for all the frustration that some collectors have expressed about where it's gone. I mean, the fact that it's almost entirely licensed models, that we've seen the introduction of opening parts, we've seen premium return. You talked a little bit about the special website and all this kind of stuff that. Like, it really has been cool to see how it's expanded. And, that a lot of the comments I see, and one of the ones that I always get a kick out of it is like, someone might say, maybe I'll start buying Matchbox now. And I'm like, dude, you've been missing out if you're only thinking about it right now. But because there's been so much good stuff that's come out. But
thanks.
That's a Hot Wheels collector, and of which I'm one. I understand that's what we do. But it's been cool, especially as someone who, you go into my office and you've got both brands up on the wall. I've really, I've said, there's so much going on. Like I've hinted at the golden ages of, Matchbox and things. But we're definitely in a new one. We're in the golden age of diecast, and I love seeing how all the diversity and, what you're throwing out there this year, I think is really exciting. And I mean, it's going to be fun to watch it roll out.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's just, I I'm finally seeing that if we accomplish this here, it's just as good or better than last year
For
for
sure.
2020. And at the last convention, I was like, this is as good as it gets. What else do you want? You guys heard me say that a few
Yeah,
times. I was like, so that was where my bar was for some of the car selection or some of the new tools. And I was
yeah,
like, what? I mean, I already got this. How do I make better selections or more, more fun stuff?
sure.
So for the following year, it's going to get more difficult, to try and it's always more difficult.
Oh, we're gonna enjoy watching you take on the challenge. You're already, as you said at the beginning, you're already in 22.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to watch as you roll it out. And we've still got so much to look forward to still with 20 and all of the stuff you're working on 2021. Anything else you want to show us? I think we've gone through quite a bit. We don't have to get nitty gritty on everything. So I think we're good.
That's a little tough one. That was a tough one.
I think we're good, man.
We're good.
I've got leaves falling on me or something.
I'll just tease this out.
Yeah.
There's a surfboard set
What?
on the back of a roof.
Okay. Okay. I'm already thinking.
So because you know how we do those interchangeable roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, we need to do surfboards. We haven't done those, so that's in there.
I'll take it.
Flip-flop interiors or flip-flop windows.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak in the fun stuff too. So
I like it. Yeah. Well, Abe,
right.
You've done double duty, and I really do appreciate it, especially after you did the presentation last week. You've done the Instagram live last night, and then you were cool enough to sit down with me today and preview this. That's well above and beyond. Hopefully, collectors are excited. Well, I know they're excited about what's coming, but I hope they appreciate, and I know they do, you taking your time to talk through some of this. And we'll do it again. I mean, it's as this stuff rolls out, I think it's going to be fun to watch it develop, and we'll definitely need to talk again.
Cool. Sounds good.
You go enjoy your weekend.
Thanks. I'll
Abe,
see you or talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.